Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Thank you for watching. My name is Miguel Gaitan. I am from Mexico but currently living in Ireland, and I make videos about investing, how is living in a different country, and also about traveling. So if you could subscribe and leave a like, I would really appreciate that. Now today I'll be talking about my portfolio. Like 2 months ago I did a video on how to start to invest and these kind of things, and I briefly show you my portfolio at the time. But today we're going to take a deep look into each of my investments, and I'll tell you why I decided to invest in those companies. So if you know, it was back in June when I started to learn about investing, and at the end of June and beginning of July, that's when I started to buy my first shares, okay? So I've been learning a lot in the past 6 months, listening to books or reading also books and taking courses online, just reading the news and from a lot of different places, okay? So I'm still new, I'm not a professional, so please don't do what I do or invest in what I invest. Remember to always do your own research. All right, so let's start. I use the broker Trading 212, and as you can see right now here on the screen, this is my brokerage account. I have at the moment $2,000 on my account, but I didn't invest all of that. At the moment, I have just invested $1,633, okay? I have invested this in the last 6 months. You can see here on the screen, I started to invest like beginning of July. You can see here on the screen, for example, my account value is $2,015, and I have $92 as free funds. As you can see on the screen, right now I have over $300 of profit, which is around 19.53% of return on my investment. I have had another $50 profit that I took from a Tesla split that you can see right here on the screen. And this is not, you cannot see this reflected here in the profits, was deposited into my account. So I will have just 50 extra dollars, so I will have a little more, but that you can see at the moment. All right, so this return is all the profits that I have made so far from my investments that I haven't sold, okay? But if I come here into history, this almost $16, this is what I have received from some stocks that I have sold. While, for example, some of them I bought them at the beginning and I don't know why I bought them, so I sold them. So that's why I have here $16. But to be honest, I don't really care about this. I'm trying to invest for the long term, and these were just like mistakes, okay? We can come here. Well, these are all the orders that I made. As I tell you, it's important to keep buying. And these are some of the dividends that I have get paid. I know it's not a lot, it's only $360, but to be honest, I'm not a dividend investor, and I mean, it's much better than nothing, okay? And I'm not really focused on receiving dividends anyway. Okay, so let's start. As you can see here on the screen, well, these are on alphabetical order, okay? Not on order of how I bought them. As you can see, the first one is Alphabet or Google. It's the same. As you can see right now, I have a 20% return on my investment, and I own 0.07 shares of Alphabet. So you can see right here on the 1 year chart, well, right now is $1,700 for one share of Google. As you can see, I bought this stock back in September when there was a small dip on the market, so I decided to invest into this company. It was a good moment. Of course, it would have been better if I invested here in March, but at the moment I didn't know about investing. So remember, I started to invest after July. I'm sure you all know Google. I mean, this is a massive company with over $1 trillion in market cap. I'm sure you have all used Google at least once in your life, either if it was with Google Maps or Google Search, or if you have a Gmail account. If you have a smartphone and it uses Android, then Android is owned by Google. If you're watching this video, it is because thanks to Google, YouTube is owned by them. So, I mean, they are a really big company that I think still have a room to grow, and I really believe in. So this company I'm holding for a long term, and if it goes down from the $1,500 or even $1,600, I'm buying again. Okay, so let's continue. In the second place here we have Amazon, another company I'm sure all of you know. I own 0.053 shares of Amazon, and to be honest, they haven't really moved that much since I bought them. This is actually one of the first companies that I invested in. This back in 6th of July, around those times. And as you can see, they have been going up and down, but I think they just stay like in a resistance place, so they're gonna be there for some time. I don't know. This is a company I use sometimes. Normally when I buy something online, I usually always use Amazon. I mean, they are just so fast and very good customer service, so I really enjoy this company. And as you can see here, they have had a fantastic year. Something I really like about Amazon, as you can see here on the graphic, is that they haven't really touched their profits for the last 20 years. I mean, they have just been reinvesting and reinvesting by everything back into the company. I mean, they are just looking for the future, you know? Probably they are already like in 2030 or something like that. Now they are even expanding into healthcare, because if you thought that Amazon was just an e-commerce giant, they are not. They have so many different small businesses on their own. I mean, they make devices, software, web services. They have Amazon Prime, of course, as you know, Audible, and many other things. So this is a company I'm holding for a long time. I'm not planning to buy anything right now. If it goes below 3,000, I think I'm buying again. All right, so the next one is, as you can see on the screen, Apple. I'm sure all of you know what they do. I mean, they are the biggest company in the world, considering market capitalization. As you can see, I have 1.5 shares of them, and it's one of my best performing stocks with over 30% return. You can see here, they have had a fantastic year. I mean, I'm sure all of you know what they do, and probably some of you may even have Apple devices. Personally, I do, and I love them. I love the company. They have had a fantastic year, as you can see here. I started to invest into this company like in July, and since then I have been buying sometimes when it goes down. So at the moment, I'm not planning to buy at the current price, but if it goes down, if there's a small dip on the market or something like that, then I am buying again. Okay, so let's go with the next one. We have here Bank of America. As you can see, I have 5 shares of Bank of America, and they actually have been performing good, almost 25% return at the moment. As you can see here in the 1-year chart, the reason I invested into a financial stock or a sector was because when I started to invest back in July, the tech stocks had already been performing very good since March, and they had already recovered, most of them. So, and I also wanted to give some diversification to my portfolio, so I wanted to invest in a bank. And well, I saw Bank of America, and at the moment when I started to invest, it was around $23 the first time I bought, and then I kept buying at 24 and 25. Since then I haven't bought more, but as you can see, they have been performing good. They still haven't recovered from their highs of February, January, but no, there isn't exactly one reason why I invested into Bank of America, to be exact. I think it was because when I started to invest, I didn't start with a lot of money, and it was one of the cheapest banks or financial stocks that were there. So that's why I decided to invest into Bank of America. Of course, I also did my research, some analysis and fundamentals, but it's not something I really understand, and I really don't know for how long I will be holding Bank of America. All right, so let's continue. Number 5, Berkshire Hathaway. Probably you have never heard of this company in your life. Me, I didn't heard of this before July. I had no idea what this company did. So they are a holding company. They own some private companies, and they also have some interests, some stakes in public companies. Okay, you can see right here almost a 10% return, and I own 0.6 shares from them. You can see the 1-year chart. They have already recovered from the February highs, so they are like normal. And well, I decided to invest. Actually, it's one of my newest investments. I invested around November when there was here a small dip, and this is when I decided to invest into Berkshire Hathaway. As examples, they own some private businesses like Geico or Dairy Queen, and as I say, they have stakes in some public companies. Like I'm gonna put here on the screen all of the stakes they have. They have a lot, but for example, the biggest companies, they have stakes in Apple, Bank of America, American Express, and many Visa, MasterCard, even Amazon. They have a lot of money into many different companies. And something I really like about Berkshire Hathaway is that they have over $100 billion in cash, just ready to invest. You know how I like. I don't know what they will do with that money. Probably they will keep buying small companies, or they will invest into another companies. I don't know, but I mean, that's a lot of money just to have ready in cash. But to be honest, the main reason why I decided to invest into this company was because of its CEO, Warren Buffett. If you had never heard of Warren Buffett, he is probably one of the best investors of all time, if not the best. He's also one of the richest persons in the world. His best friend is Bill Gates. He's 90 years old and he's still the CEO of one of the biggest companies on the world. He's also a big philanthropist. He has been donated billions and billions throughout his life, and he has decided to donate 99% of its fortune. I mean, it's someone I really look up to. I have read a lot about him, watched documentaries about him, their autobiographies, read a lot about him. Someone I really look up to, and someone I really recommend you that you probably should read something and try to find out a little more about him. Okay, that's it for Berkshire. Let's continue. You can see here on the screen my next investment is Beyond Meat. I currently own 0.7 shares of them. This is my newest investment, and this is one I'm gonna keep buying for the next months. I have been buying probably for the last I started to buy right here beginning of November, and I'm probably gonna be buying as if it goes down. If you don't know what they do, they produce plant-based substitutes, so they try to emulate chicken, beef, and pork and other things. They are actually the leaders in plant-based meat, and they have been growing a lot for the last years. I mean, as you can see here on the graph, they went from selling 16 million to 300 million last year. So this is a great growth, and according to the analysts, they are expected to keep growing. I mean, they are still not so big. They are probably more known in the US, but they are expanding worldwide at the moment. Maybe there is a little risk on this one because it's still a new company. It's like 10 years old or something like that less. So it's a company I think it's gonna keep growing. They have a great CEO, and well, we'll see how it goes, and it's a company I'm gonna keep buying. Now let's continue. As you can see on the screen, my next investment is Coca-Cola. I'm sure all of you know this company is another company that doesn't need any introduction. At the moment, I own 1.5 shares of them, and they have been actually performing quite good, 16% return on my investment. As you can see here, I think this was my first company that I bought. I bought here when it was at $45 for the first time, and then again, I don't like it, 48 maybe. So this is a company that I really understand, I really like. I don't think I'm gonna be holding this for a long time. I mean, the purpose of holding Coca-Cola is just to give diversification to my portfolio. Also because it's a business I understand, I can relate to. I have been buying their products all of my life. And also because I invested in Coca-Cola, because you can see here, they still hadn't recovered from their highs before the pandemic. So I don't know for how long I will hold them, but we'll see. At the moment, I'm not planning to buy anymore, to be honest. If there is a dip, probably I will buy, but it's not in my plans, to be honest. Now, let's go with number 8, I believe. So we have right here, as you can see here, Delta Airlines. I only own 1 share of Delta Airlines. Then actually, this has been one of my best performing stocks, over 40%. I think today down 1%. This is a company I invested back in August, but the first time I invested was when it was at $25. I think it was still back in July. The reason the reason I invested into Delta Airlines was because I mean their sector has been greatly affected by the pandemic. I mean, as you can see here on the graphic, they were at some moment in March they were even down 70%. So that's why I decided to invest. I did my analysis. To be honest, I didn't really think that they were going to go bankrupt. They are a big, massive company. They got a lot of support from the US government by buying their bonds and all the money that they receive from them. So I didn't really thought that they were going to go bankrupt. So that's why I decided to invest into them. I think I regret a little that I didn't invest a little more. I mean, I just have 1 share at the moment, but well, that's how this is, and these things happen. So what can I do? This is a stock that I plan to own for some time. I mean, at least until they recover from the pandemic. I know that's gonna take some years, but I mean, there is no rush. I'm gonna keep holding Delta for some time, and I think it's gonna perform very good. I'm not planning to buy at the moment. Okay, so let's continue. My next investment is Facebook. As you can see here on the screen, I own 0.55 shares of them, and they have been performing, I mean, good, 7% return. I invested right here, I think in September, when it was like a 250. thought it was a small dip, a moment to buy. It would have been amazing to invest here probably when they were at $30, but I mean, that's how it is. I didn't know anything about investing at that moment, so now I'm sure all of you use at least one Facebook product, if it's either Facebook, or you use Instagram or WhatsApp or Messenger. They are all from Facebook. It's a massive company. They have a 60% market share in the US, which is just too much, I think. I mean, the last quarter they reported that they had a monthly users of over 3 billion persons. So I mean, they are just a massive company, and they have a lot of control and power. And it's a company I use all the time. If it's either with Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, something I have been using for probably like 10 years. I really like them. And well, I wanted to, it's a company I understand and that I like, so I wanted to be on the train. I believe they still have a lot of growth. I mean, they are probably 15 years old, I believe. They were founded in 2004. They still have a lot to grow, so it's a company I really believe in, I really like. And this one is one that I'm holding for a very long time, and that I'm probably gonna buy more next year. We're almost finished, okay? I know it's a lot of companies, but I wanted to take a deep look into each. For example, this one, next one, Johnson & Johnson. To be honest, the main reason I invested into them was for the purpose of diversification to my portfolio. To be honest, it's not it's not a company I really understand everything they do. They are a massive company, and well, I just decided to invest. I think back in July. I'm not very sure. To be honest, it's not a company I'm planning to hold for long time, and we'll see when I will sell them. Now we come here to Microsoft. I own 0.6 shares of Microsoft, and they have a okay return, 8%. You can see here they also have a fantastic year, and since I bought them, they haven't really gone anywhere. This one is a company I bought back in July. To be honest, I don't have a reason why I invested into Microsoft. At the beginning, I wanted to give some diversification to my portfolio, but to be honest, I didn't do any research. Of course, I know what they do. It's a massive company. I have been using them all of my life, but to be honest, it's not a company I really am interested in. I don't know for how long I will be holding them, probably 1 year, I don't know. Of course, I like Microsoft, but it's not something I really want to invest, and well, we'll see how long it stays on my portfolio. Okay, and we have arrived to my favorite company in all the world, probably. We have here Tesla. I own 0.5 shares of Tesla, and right now we have a return of almost 65%, which is amazing. But like I said before, I had Tesla before they did the stock split. So if I put everything together here, the profit that I took before and everything, I'm sure I'm a little over 120% on Tesla, on my 120% return, and like $180 of profit. But right now you can only see this is when I bought again when they did the stock split, because it's a company I want to own probably forever. I don't know. So as you can see here, let's go in the 1 year chart. They have had an amazing year. I mean, since March, right here, they are up over 800%, which is just incredible. It's a lot. And as you can see here, this is the second time I bought Tesla, so around $400. But the first time was like here probably. And if you don't know what they do, well, they are an electrical vehicle and a clean energy company. Very easy. They are accelerating the world's transition into sustainable energy with the electric cars, solar panels, and many other things. Another reason I decided to invest into Tesla was its CEO, Elon Musk. I mean, if you don't know who he is, he's probably one of the most important persons on the world right now. They want to change the world in a positive, in a good way. I really recommend you to look information about him, read about him, read his autobiography. It's a really good. Read all that he's doing, all the companies that he's involved, everything that he's doing, and what he has done. I mean, he's already someone that has proved that can achieve great things. They are finally a profitable company. For a long time, they were having losses, but to be honest, I think they were just reinvesting everything back into the company. I mean, I will have to make a full series of videos just to tell you all the story about Tesla and what they are doing to change the world. And as I said, they have had a fantastic year, as you can see here on the screen. It's maximum, the 1 year chart. A lot of people, they think they are overvalued and that they are a bubble, and probably they are. But to be honest, you can't really value this kind of company that is not just a car company, because if you see it as a car company, it's the biggest car company in the world considering market capitalization. But of course, they are not bigger than Ford or Toyota or these other companies. They are just Tesla is probably already like in 2040, 2050, I don't know. The software, the technology they have there is a big leap, there's a big difference from their competitors. So I'm planning to hold the Tesla for a long time. I don't know if I'm buying at the current moment. If it goes down more, if there is a big dip, I'm buying again. But to be honest, this is one company I'm really planning to hold for a long time. I really recommend you to look into Tesla, look what they are doing, their cars, everything, how they want to change the world, all the ideas they have, and also Elon Musk. Someone like I said, someone I really look up to, and he has a lot of companies: SpaceX, Neuralink, Tesla, the Boring Company, many different projects that he's doing. And probably if he went public with another company, I'm sure I will invest just because of him. I'm not telling you to invest into his companies, but that's how I feel about him. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a fanboy with him. Okay, so now let's finish and let's go with the last one. This one is Vanguard S&P 500. So this is an ETF that replicates the S&P 500. I have already explained a lot of times in my videos what an ETF is and what S&P 500 is. So watch my videos if you want to understand a little more about that. I own 2.5 shares of them, and at the moment I have a 10% return. It's good, I mean, to be an ETF. And the main purpose I'm holding this one, the ticker symbol is VUSD, if you want to know. It's from the Vanguard from UK. Well, this for the purpose of diversification is very important. This is actually the third biggest investments I have. Okay, so those are all my investments, as you can see here. My biggest investment is Tesla, of course, then Apple and the S&P 500 to give some stability and diversification to my portfolio. So that's it for my portfolio. I hope you like this video. I didn't really go too deep into each of my stocks because, well, it will take me more time to explain all the fundamentals, the analysis I did. So if you want to know more about one company, just let me know down in the comments. And remember, I'm not a professional. I'm still learning. I'm still new to all this world of investing in the stock market. So don't try to copy anything I do, please. Remember to always do your own research. That's very important. And don't copy the others, okay? And before I leave, let me know down in the comments if you are investing into the stock market or probably of other things. And if you are investing, tell me in what companies, if we share some similar investments or something like that. Or if you want me to talk about some things about investing, just let me know down in the comments, okay? So before you leave, just make sure to hit the like button, turn the notifications, and subscribe. See you in the next video.